let me tell you about Bob. A real-world, true case I had with a client. Bob runs a mid-sized company. He called me one day absolutely freaking out because he had learned from his employees that a coworker, Linda, who would work for the employer for some time and was a key employee to Bob, was caught smoking dope at the office. Now, how did the employees know that Linda was smoking dope? Because they claim they'd see her every afternoon sauntering out, ostensibly to go take a walk or drive her car, but she'd always come back invariably reeking of weed. Because you see, Bob was about to create a huge legal mess for himself because there are 5 things that Bob didn't know or didn't do.
So, what did you think of our first speaker? Isn't that a great way to start?
Thank you.
Now, okay, now here's the thing. This is the big struggle for me at the showcase because you see the after. You don't get to see the before. So let me ask you, Laura, what was your biggest challenge with this and every other presentation you give?
Well, you know, and the other speakers know, I'm a wanderer, as the song goes, okay? So for me, for years, I've been speaking and training and conducting workshops by moving, and that's how I remember.
So give us like 10 seconds of how you would normally do this presentation. This is how it was done yesterday.
So let me tell you about Bob, a real-world, true case of a client that I dealt with. That's how I would do it. And the steps help me remember.
Yeah. And so the biggest challenge we had with Laura is I said to her yesterday, I said, I want you to park your feet and I don't want you to move them. And you were horrified.
Yes, I was.
And so yesterday she was planting these feet and the body wanted to move and she couldn't remember the message and she kept saying to me, Steve, I know this. And I said, I know you know it. But here's what happens with Laura and every other speaker. Okay? Your body is filled with energy. And when you get up here on this platform and you've got all these people here, that energy is going to be amplified and it's going to find a way out. It's going to manifest itself somehow. And for Laura, it manifests itself through constant, non-stop pacing and movement. And so what we needed to do with Laura is we needed to control the energy. So instead of the energy controlling her through randomized movement, she got to be able to control it by disallowing it from the waist down. Lock it out.
Can I share a secret, though?
Yeah, sure.
That's why I danced my can off at the beginning.
To get rid of it, yes.
I got rid of it all.
I noticed that. That's right. So she anchors her feet, and now that energy still has to escape. But now it escapes from the waist up through gesturing and through facial expression and through voice. Now, we're going to take it to one more level, maybe 2.
Okay.
Here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to take your spot.
All right.
So I'm going to do 2 things one at a time. The first thing I want to do is I want to open up you physically.
Okay.
Because now that you're okay standing in one spot, I want you to be free now to express yourself because you're a little bit physically contained here. You got a big room, 120 people, and it's a wide room.
Sure.
So I want you to use this space. So let's go to where you talk about the 3...
Okay.
Those 3 things. And I want to guide you through that. Okay, so take us there and let's see where it goes.
Okay, so the key thing to implementing effective drug and alcohol policies is ensuring that there are 3 distinctions made with respect to the types of use: recreational use, medical use, and addicted use.
Good, keep going.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Keep going from there. Because now here's what I'm after is I knew you were going to do that because I just said so, but I want to catch you.
Oh, okay.
Because that's my job.
All right.
Right?
Not making these distinctions can create significant legal risks for employers because the law operates differently when it relates to these different types of uses.
Okay, so now, let's do that line one more time. Go back to the very beginning of that line.
Because the law operates differently when it comes to these different types of uses.
Back one more.
All right. So not making these distinctions can create huge legal risks.
Huge. What does huge look like?
Huge looks like this.
Does it? There. See, now that's what huge looks like.
Right.
Good. And so now what you do is you slow it down. Because here's the thing. Remember, the purpose of speaking on a stage is not the transference of information. The transference of information happens. Yes, but the purpose is a transference of emotion, even in an information presentation like this. Her job is to inspire you. Her job is to motivate you. Her job is to change the way you think and the way you feel. She wants you to feel about her message the way she feels about her message. But she's not going to express how she feels about her message naturally because she's a lawyer. Right? So she lives in her head, right? And we talked about this last night. She said, Steve, I'm a lawyer. I think about facts, and I got to get all the facts. I need them to know all the facts. And so I won't tell you what I said back to her, but it worked. Right, so
sure
here's
did.
what I want you to do now, okay? Now, so I want you to go back to that same line, but open yourself up, and when you think it's extreme, it's going to be about right for us.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Let's give her some appreciation for taking up my demon. Go.
So not making these key distinctions can create huge legal risks for employers.
Keep going. I mean, wasn't that so much
Okay,
better
well,
right there? Keep going.
Because the law operates differently when it relates to the different types of uses of cannabis.
Okay, different types of uses is also fairly big. It doesn't have to be dramatic, but all the different types of uses. Just show us a little bigger.
Different types of uses when it relates to cannabis.
Okay, see, now what you've done is you've crossed another threshold. So Laura has crossed two thresholds. One yesterday she crossed when she was able to stand still. It puts her in a professional place. And she is now a certified professional, a certified speaking professional. And she achieved that through meeting all the requirements. And so now it's time for her, and we had this discussion yesterday, now it's time for her to reflect that designation in her performance. It's almost a requirement, and it's a
responsibility.
It's a responsibility that we have as certified professionals. And so you cross that now. And now you just crossed another one by using this space and becoming much more animated. Did it feel different to you when she did this? Yes. And so now you've crossed that, we're going to cross one more.
Oh, okay.
So let's get back in the center here.
Okay.
Okay, you can go anywhere you want into your presentation. I'm hoping it's somewhere where you can be expressive, but I want you to smile.
Oh, smile. Okay. I was trying not to smile because I didn't want people to think I was high. And, okay. All right.
Oh, and by the way, we should
No,
reveal.
I have to say for reputational purposes that I was smoking mint and rosemary up here. They're actor cigarettes.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, just in case anyone wants to hit me up later, I don't have anything. All right.
So now let's stop for a second. See what happened here is this is what I call off the record. Now, wouldn't you love to see that Laura revealed in this talk? And this is what speakers do all the time, is we put this armor of around us. We say, I'm not going to let them see who I really am. I'm just going to let them see the lawyer. But we want to see the real. That's what I wanted. That's what I'm looking for.
I usually have humor in my talks.
Yes.
Though.
Okay. So bring us to a spot.
All right.
So show us.
Some humor?
I want to see some real Laura. I want to see this Laura in the talk.
Okay. Do I have to be in script, or can I just talk
out
about
of script, whatever you want.
Okay. So Bob calls me up one day, and he's totally freaking out. He's freaking out because he's learned that one of his employees is smoking pot in the workplace. Bob thinks the sky is falling. And you know what? The sky could fall because of what Bob is about to do. You see, Bob doesn't understand that there are 5 key things that employers need to do to ensure that they contain risks related to impairment in the workplace.
Okay, so 2 things real quick. Number 1 is your arms are tucked in by your side. Loosen up, shake it off,
All right.
and let those arms fly.
Okay, I was working on smiling. I thought we were off the huge.
I want the whole thing. I want the whole thing. I want the whole package, Laura. The whole package.
Okay, all right.
So let me ask you, do you think you were smiling there?
In my
No.
mind, I was.
Yeah, in your mind you were, yeah. No,
All right.
we want to see the
You want
fun.
to smile about
here's
weed in
what
the
we want. I
workplace?
want you to make me believe that you believe this.
Okay, so Bob calls me up one day, and Bob is absolutely freaking out because, all right. Can I get an amen? Because Bob believes the sky is falling because one of his employees, a key employee, is smoking pot at work.
What did you think? Isn't that awesome? Woo!
Thank you.
All right, well done. Okay, so what are you going to do differently as a result of this little exercise?
Okay, so I'm going to dance before I speak every time.
That's a good policy.
I'm going to stay still.
Yeah.
I'm going to open up. I'm going to smile. And I'm going to inject humor, and I usually try to.
You usually do.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Laura Williams, CSP.
Thank you very much.